Hi, today I'll be presenting a mini project which is an image to password script. That is, a script whose purpose is to transform an input image into a password string. The motivation behind this project was the idea of coming up with a strong password. Generally, the strongest passwords are the most random, but these are difficult to remember. So why not use an image as your password? And remember that this is the image from which my password is generated, rather than remembering the complex password itself. So let's get into it. This is a script. This is the script. So I executed this with Python, and the main modules I used were the Python image module, Pillow, as well as tkinter for the front end, and PyAutoGUI for the output. So let's give it a test run. So our test image will be this image of a cat.jpif. We want to generate from this a password. So inputting on our tkinter front end cat.jpif, and prescribed length is the length of password we want, say 15. And another option, characters to exclude. There's an option that allows you to exclude certain characters that you may not want in your password. We'll use this later, leaving it blank for now. And we also have options in terms of transformation and mapping part 1 and part 2, which we'll look at later. So as a basis, let's start with this and submit. So we have a 10-second wait just to move our cursor to the correct window for activation, and then our our PyAutoGUI will type out the password for us. There it is. Now our exclude option lets us select certain characters we want to exclude from our password. So let's say we wanted a password that did not include brackets and the percentage sign. So those were forbidden characters. Then we just type it in like that as a straight continuous string. Submitting this. We see that we output a password string without the forbidden characters. So as another example, let's change the length of our string that we want. Okay, going back to 15. After characters to exclude, we have options for the transformation called transformation, mapping part 1 and part 2. These options effectively affect the map used to transform the image to the string. So essentially what happens is that we have an image which is defined by a grid of pixels, which can be thought of as RGB values. So the image is a bunch of pixels, which are a bunch of RGB values, and this can be taken as, say, a list of RGB values. So we have a list of numbers, and then now we can actually operate on those numbers. And after operating on those numbers, we change them into uh, a list of, say, 15 numbers that are prescribed length, and then transform those numbers into letters and characters to get our output string. So that middle section of taking our string of RGB, our list of RGB values, and operating on them, applying mathematical operations on them to transform them into a list of, say, desired 15 numbers. That is what is affected by the options transformation mapping part 1 and mapping part 2. So this just gives us the ability to get different passwords for the same setting. So changing our transformation to transformation 2. Remember previously our password was this at the top, and now we get a different password of length 15. Changing our option for mapping part 1. That for mapping part 2. And there we have it. That is our script, image to password script.